Welcome, Top News Today. Please subscribe and support this channel.
First Lady Melania Trump arrived in Texas Thursday morning for a surprise visit to children being held at the border by her husband's administration, at exactly the same time as he claimed there was a massive child smuggling industry at the border. Dressed in a creme button-down safari jacket, white pants, and sneakers, the First Lady arrived in a rainy McAllen, Texas, to tour two facilities where children are being held. But when getting on a government plane at Andrews Air Force Base, she wore a $39 Zara military jacket with the extraordinary message printed on the back, "I don't care, do you? I'm looking forward to meeting the children," she said during her visit to the Upbring New Hope Children's Shelter, a facility that is sheltering 55 children in Washington, D.C. Her husband spoke at length before a cabinet meeting, claiming that there was a massive child smuggling industry. "People are suffering because of the Democrats. They created, and they have let it happen, a massive child smuggling industry," he said. "The human traffickers are making a fortune. It's a disgrace." His comments come after he had to execute a U-turn on child separations which had exploded because of a new zero-tolerance policy for people crossing the border illegally, with Border Patrol ordered to arrest and prosecute every person caught crossing illegally. The Texas briefing was a rare opportunity to hear the First Lady speak. She is mostly seen and not heard when at public appearances with her husband. She did not ask questions when she joined her husband 2 weeks ago at a hurricane preparedness briefing at FEMA. But the solo trip gave her a chance to address officials in Texas. "Thank you for all you do," she told officials as she started the meeting. She spoke softly and in a slightly accented voice. Her first question was, how often do the children get to call and talk to their families? She also asked officials what kind of shape the children are in when they arrive. "I've heard they are very happy. They love to study. They love school," the First Lady said. She also wanted to know how long the children stayed at the center and if they were without the parents. Officials told her the majority of the children had arrived unaccompanied, meaning it is unclear how many were victims of family separation. Melania Trump's communications director Stephanie Grisham said the First Lady wanted to see the facilities for herself and to thank the staff working in them. Her goals are to thank law enforcement and social services providers for their hard work, lend support and hear more on how the administration can build upon the already existing efforts to reunite children with their families, Grisham said. Her visit comes amid a political firestorm for the Trump administration. President Donald Trump took heavy criticism from both sides of the aisle, former presidents and his own wife, about the zero-tolerance immigration policy that resulted in migrant children being separated from their families at the border. Melania Trump issued a rare public statement on the issue over the weekend, inserting herself into a policy issue that she had previously been silent upon. Her next visit was to the Ursula Border Patrol Processing Center, a Customs and Border Patrol Department of Homeland Security intake center where migrant families spend a few days. Health and Human Services Secretary Alex Azar traveled with her. Her spokesperson said the First Lady will continue to be a vocal presence on the issue as administration officials try to work out ways to reunite children and their families after President Trump signed an executive order on Wednesday. "While we're going through that process, she's going to lend her support and promote family reunification, and I'm sure she'll continue to give her husband opinions on what she's thinking along the way," Grisham said of the visit. Grisham emphasized how much the First Lady wants to see children reunited with their families. "She'll do everything she can and she'll speak her opinions as much as she can." Melania Trump's visit comes after President Donald Trump credited her and daughter Ivanka for helping change his mind about separating children from their families. President Trump, when he signed his executive order on the issue on Wednesday, indicated that lobbying from Ivanka, who showed him pictures of the caged and kenneled children, and wife Melania had caused him to have a change in heart. "Ivanka feels very strongly about it. My wife feels very strongly about it. I feel very strongly about it. I think anybody with a heart would feel very strongly about it," he said. The First Lady also saw the photos from the border and heard the recordings of children being separated from their families. "She's seen the images. She's heard the recordings," Grisham said. She was on top of the situation before any of it came out. She was concerned about it. Grisham said Mrs. Trump saw the images of kids behind chain-link fence at an intake facility. The images struck her, as a mother, as a human being. Melania Trump asked her staff on Tuesday to plan a trip as soon as possible, before President Trump signed the executive order, and Grisham said she wasn't sure if Mrs. Trump knew that the order was coming. "I don't know what she knew. She knew what she wanted to do and she told us," Grisham said. She wanted to see everything for herself. She supports family reunification. She thinks that it's important that children stay with their families. This was 100% her idea. She absolutely wanted to come. And it was her idea to visit before her husband signed his executive order, Grisham said, and she had no second thoughts after the order was signed. She wants to see what's happening for herself and she wants to lend her support, executive order or not. The executive order certainly is helping pave the way a little bit, but there's still a lot to be done. President Trump supported this trip but he didn't send her. This was her decision. She told her staff she wanted to go and we made that happen. He is supportive of it but she told him, "I'm headed down to Texas," and he supported it. She wants to see these children and she wants to help children. It's not about anything more than that. She wants to see what's real. She wants to see a realistic view. The immigration debate is a rare public policy issue that Melania Trump has inserted herself into. The First Lady issued a rare public statement on Sunday about her husband's zero-tolerance policy. It appeared to break with the Trump administration's stance. Grisham said in a statement that Mrs. Trump hates to see children separated from their families and hopes both sides of the aisle can finally come together to achieve successful immigration reform. She believes we need to be a country that follows all laws, but also a country that governs with heart. Melania Trump is an immigration herself. She was born in Yugoslavia, what is now Slovenia, and came to New York City in 1996. She became a permanent resident of the U.S. in 2001 and became a citizen in 2006. She is the first naturalized U.S. citizen to become First Lady of the United States. Asked if her immigration background influenced Mrs. Trump's views, Grisham said she didn't know. "I don't know that it plays into her thinking, but I can tell you guys that when she came into this country she did it legally and she feels that everybody should enter the country legally," she said.
Please subscribe channel. Thank you for watching.